heart of the Pacific Ocean lies an island called Hawaii, also known as the Big Island. This is the most unique island in the Pacific, where it has fire, with active flowing lava on Kilauea volcano, where there's ice or snow on the highest mountain in the world from sea level, called Mauna Kea. This paradise island has many varieties of tropical flowers, trees, valleys, waterfalls, lovely beaches, and whales swimming along the seashore. And most of all, Hawaii has talented and charming people with warm aloha, beautiful song, and dance to fill hearts with joy and delight. Yes, you too will agree that we have a unique and beautiful island in the heart of the Pacific. Aloha! Welcome to the Big Island of Hawaii. My name is Riva Ka'u'ionolani Kalima. Today we have one of East Hawaii's most renowned entertainers, Rebecca Pau. To those dear to her heart, she is simply Auntie Becky. She was born in March of 1929 on the island of Hawaii and raised in Kalapana. Her maiden name was Rebecca Kuihano, the daughter of Tomas Kuihano and Annie Ananu'uanu. Let's listen to Auntie as she reminisces about the good days being raised in Kalapana. Aloha, Auntie Becky.
Aloha, Riva.
Who are your grandparents?
My grandfather's name was Samuel Paul Nu'uanu, and my grandmother's name was Masa Hauhia Punaho. My grandfather was from Kaupo, Maui, and my grandmother was Puna girl.
Could you describe to me your father's personality?
My father was, he was pretty tight on the money, and he was, with us kids, he was not too strict, but I can say that we grew up to be well disciplined. My mom would help my dad, in his farm while raising us kids, and in fact, in her later years of life, she sort of supported herself by, both of them, they work in the taro patch. They raise taro, sell them to the poi shop, and this is how they built their house in Kalapana. My mom, she was a hard worker, she was warm, and she was also a kind person. At those days, they didn't have TV, so they had 5 boys and 4 girls. Actually, we had 11 in the family, but 2 died, so 9 survived.
Annie Ananu'uanu, Auntie Becky's mother, was skilled in weaving a variety of lahala hats.
Beautiful hats, beautiful design. In fact, her work that she made, the hat, the story about picking lauhala and all that, it's in the University of Hawaii. I helped my mom, especially when weaving lauhala magic. There's the one in the house. I helped her gather the lauhala, roll, strip the lauhala, and then we only weave when it's moist, because when it's hot, the lauhala becomes brittle.
Kalapana was a beautiful place to live.
It was a nice, quaint little community where everybody know everybody. In fact, most of them are related by either, by blood or by family. There were 2 churches, one Catholic, one Protestant. There were a schoolhouse that I went to school, I think, from 1st to 6th grade. And there was a small store, we call that Amu store, owned by an old Chinese couple, where we used to buy crack seed and whatever goodies that they sold. I think a small package of crack seed was 5 cents.
Kalapana, that's where I was born and raised. It's a beautiful place, and the beautiful black sand beach was a favorite place for the young people. When we went there swimming, and the boys and girls from the other areas around would all come down, would all get together and swim. And one of the fun things that we used to do was the turtles was very should I say, tame there. They swam close to the shore. And so what the boys did was they would hold on to the leg of the turtle and just ride along with the turtle while the turtle is paddling.
Queen's Bath was there, so every time see what my parents do during the summer, we'd work, in the garden, help them, and after lunch, we could do all what we want, and we would walk down Queen's Bath. It's about half a mile, I think, from my house. They didn't have road for vehicle. They had only trails, and we walked down there. Queen's Bath. That is where I learned how to swim.
Auntie talks about the black sand that spreads upon the shore of Kalapana.
Black sand beach. There are two types of sand down there. The one that has a lot of coconut grove. I remember my family picks that sand for cement. But they have another one that really slimy that we slide down. It's more fine. The other one is a little bit more coarse because of the fact that they had so much coconut trees, and like I said, all these groves, the way they grew alongside the seashore. To me, it was my idea of what a paradise is. And that song that I wrote about Kalapana, the black sand. I had a little help from my sister, my younger sister, but most time because of my love for the black sand, that's the reason why, I had that song, written that song. But I love any kind of songs. But mostly when I sing, I love the old traditional Hawaiian songs.
Come with me and listen to the Song Bird of Puna as she sings about the black sand of Kalapana.
the sea. Lights its splendor in that light, reflects the beauty of the sea.
Auntie Becky started to sing.
My mom would teach me songs from songbooks by notes. She read the notes and then she teach me the Hawaiian songs. When we had school plays like during Christmas or other holidays where the community get together, and I was in grade school when we sang in chorus as a group. The school that I was going, the student body was from kindergarten to high school, was about 300 students. So everybody know everybody. Kalapana school, I went first to 6th grade, and then 7th grade I went to Pahoa school and I graduated there. Pahoa town is, if I can remember, probably the population were about maybe close to 500 in a small community, and they had a meat market where if you want meat, you go over there and order the kind of meat have. And this Filipino man, we call siriako, he would cut the amount, how many pounds meat you want, and he wrap. And we had 2 bakeries, fresh bread that they bake every day.
Trains would transport people and transport sugar.
They did one passenger train that would commute passenger. I think it started from Opikau and stop at Pahoa at the post office and pick up some more passengers and take them to Hilo. I rode on it once.
There was a sugar plantation in Pahoa.
They had a plow, of course, to plow the place, but they also, when they had a cane, they would use, we call at the time cane knife. They used to cut the cane and put it on the train. Only during the later years then they had truck that they would transport the cane to the mill, but before they had trains.
Auntie Becky has a musical family.
Kalapana, we didn't even have radio and whatever, so to entertain ourselves, the ohana would come back together and we would sing. That's why they had talented musicians that come from Kalapana, because that was our hobby.
When we were young, actually, we have a musical family, and we always get together now and then and we sang, or at luau's and parties. She has what I would call a falsetto type voice. But by the same token, Auntie Becky sings different parts. When we harmonize, she can sing the soprano, she can sing the alto, she can sing the tenor. So she's very flexible with her voice.
Mostly my family, you know what I mean? My brothers and sisters, they can sing and play the instruments. Oh yeah, those days when my parents would buy, we had a phonograph, that can crank, and they would buy those record, and we used to play the music, or all the different music over and over, and that's how I learned how to sing. Oh, that's my own style. You know what I mean? It comes with me. I play the ukulele. I self-taught. You know, I didn't kind of tell my secret to anybody. When I need to go perform, especially the first time that I had performed for a hula show, whew, you know what I mean? I couldn't face audience. So I asked the proprietor, because she knew about in Japan how they would prepare themselves to sing. She told me take eggnog with egg and milk and put honey in and drink it about an hour before you perform, and power, packed with power. When I sang, the voice just project.
I have several favorite songs that she sings. But recently she made a recording, Aloha Ku'uhomi Ikaneohe, and that has become one of my favorites. The person that composed this song lived there, and this person describes in that song about the home in Kaneohe, and it tells about the Ko'olau Range, the green emerald mountains. So this person says this is the story about his home of Kaneohe.
Auntie Becky was married to Louis Louis George Pau.
He was a Korea military man, and then when he retired, then he worked for a while. That was taking care of Kalapana Garden subdivision, and then later on he was working as a maintenance man for the Hawaii National Park.
Auntie Becky leaves Hawaii bound for the mainland.
When he had a 2.5 year in Fort Carson, Colorado, we stayed there about 2.5 years. From 1963 to 1966, we came back. almost towards the end because I was tired. You know, the snow, we had to contend with the snow, and I didn't like the cold. It was too cold for me, you know what I mean? So I was ready to come home.
Auntie Becky has 4 children.
Greg, Glenn, Ted, and Louis Jr. 5 boys, but 1 died, left 4.
In 1986, Kalapana reached its threat.
I remember some of them was just before Thanksgiving in 1986 when the homes was destroyed by the lava. My home was destroyed on December 1st, 1986. And today it's covered with over 100 feet of lava. The first time that I had, I seen the lava flow and it was heading towards my property. Let me tell you, I almost fainted. Because I felt all my memories, was tied up in my home. I remember the fire department at that time would go there and with the water hose, they were trying to stop the lava from going to my home. But as I said, it was something very awe-inspiring. I was close by when I've seen the lava going down. Oh, let me say, probably 20, 30 miles an hour. The lava was just going like a wave. All I could see was one house after another house was just going up in flames.
Watching the lava when that came down, it's unlike, to me anyways, it's unlike a hurricane or like a tsunami where you have the natural landscape again. In this case, the lava came and covered everything, so everything is lost.
There was no time to spare. The lava was coming full force.
My sister-in-law said it was very scary because how else, they would escape because the lava was right there, close by the house, But my father, he was very obstinate. He felt that, the lava would come because all his years, the years that he lived there, we never had things like that. We evacuated, I believe, 5 times, during that time when we had lava flow, but this was the worst. I remember my brother and my son were, at that time, they didn't go to work, and they told me that they held each other and they cried when they see the house going up in flames.
The lava sort of went, it didn't hit my mom's place that same day when it came out to the road. Kind of went to the, towards the west side and took my auntie's home first, Auntie Emma's. And then my grandfather was dead that night, probably about 11 o'clock at night when we got to his place. But he was a hard one to try to evacuate because like anything else, you just can't believe it's happening. Can't believe it's happening to him.
Auntie Becky's home was the next to be evacuated.
I had a 2-story, 5-bedroom home. So, it took about 6 county or state vehicles with men came there, and there were others of my friends that came and, put everything in boxes. They got boxes for us, Other than that, it would take us days to pack, but it took us a matter of hours, I guess from 2 to 6, about a little over 4 hours to get all those things out. We didn't completely get all those things out, but most of the, important things we got out of the house. Well, let me tell you something. If you stand close by, you can feel the heat because the lava was fiery red. And so as it rushing down, the slope, all I could do is stand and, telling to myself, oh no, because I knew whose house went one in flames, one after the other. In fact, my dad was very fortunate. The lava was 10 feet in front by his stairway. One room was up in flames before the police, try to get him out. But as soon as they got out, the house just went up in flames.
It was 15 years ago tomorrow that the first of more than 200 houses on the Big Island were taken by lava from Kilauea volcano. In the years since, houses, businesses, landmarks, and archaeological sites have been destroyed. Barbara Marshall and cameraman Donald Sonoda returned to the Big Island to learn whether, despite Kilauea, life goes on.
For the first few days of 1983, as lava flowed from the East Rift zone of Kilauea, it was a natural wonder that brought new life to the tourism business on the Big Island. Scientists and geologists flocked to the site, and miles away in the subdivisions on the coastline, people weren't too worried. Then things got very serious.
Right now, we've just ordered the evacuation of the Royal Garden subdivision.
That first evacuation was a false alarm, but in early March of 1983, it was no false alarm. Lava poured into Royal Gardens and claimed its first victim.
And if you want to take my home and my land, I'll give you with Aloha.
And tomorrow night, Barbara will visit with a woman who lost her home at Kapa'ahu and always wanted to go back. 15 years ago tonight, lava from Kilauea volcano took its first house in the Royal Garden subdivision. Since then, hundreds of homes have been destroyed, others left inaccessible as the relentless flow continues. But while the lava brings devastation, it also builds more of the Big Island. And Barbara Marshall and cameraman Donald Sonoda are finding that despite Kilauea, life goes on.
It was November of 1986 when Becky and Louis Pau realized life as they knew it was about to end. Lava from Kilauea volcano had pushed its way across miles of Puna coastland and into the Kalapana area where the Paus and others had lived lifetimes.
I love this land. This is my Aina, and I loved it. And so, like I said, if it's lost, it's not material things. I don't care about it, but it's just the memory.
For the Paus, life in Kapa'ahu was on the verge of becoming a memory. Although the lava halted temporarily on that day, before long, the Paus' house with those of their friends and neighbors was gone, covered by lava. 3 years later, the Paus were resettled on land donated by the Wadamul family in a house far from the family homestead. And today, Becky Pau lives alone in that house, struggling to care for her 2 acres, but content.
I'm happy here. I find that this is closer to town. I'm just about 20 minutes away from Hilo, and consider if I had lived down there, it takes me almost about an hour to travel.
There's nothing left of Becky's old house, but some of the old gang still lives nearby, and she still visits.
It reminds me of old times, those good old Kalapana days, when we were down there and we entertained the crowd. And so I still loved it.
But until now, Becky has always dreamed of going back permanently. Now, that dream is gone.
And I don't think it's wise for me to go back and start all over again.
But there are still people living in Kalapana, adjacent to the lava flows that buried their neighbors' houses. What's the outlook for them?
So all it takes is one lava flow misdirected, and it will destroy the property.
Yet the lava keeps flowing, and the people stay. Barbara Marshall, Channel 2 News, Kalapana.
Auntie Becky expresses her love of the land through song. Listen now to her lovely rendition of Ku'uwehi Nani, My Beautiful Adornment. When Auntie Becky was little, she helped her father and mother with the gardening. She still loves gardening today.
He took a look around in my yard. You know, I love gardening. Well, because my father was a workaholic, and you know what I mean, I didn't appreciate at the time when he tell us to work out, you know, in the garden. I figure it was hot and who want to work out in the hot sun, right? But then as I grew older, you know, I could see the things that he planted, you know what I mean, how it turned out, you know, whether it flowers or vegetables, and you know, I could see the beauty of it. You know, I believe both my mom and my dad love gardening. They like to make things beautiful, and no doubt we follow in their footsteps. My mom had a lot of different kinds of tea leaf and croutons, but later on I cut it back, and then I was growing hybrid roses. I have not only grandchildren. When we had Ohana, I have great-grandchildren. One of my grandsons, I remember when he listened to my tape, he said, "Grandma, how do you sing? Teach me how to sing falsetto." I said, "Just learn. You know what I mean? Just sing." I couldn't tell him. He's in Honolulu and this is on the phone. How can I teach him? Then he said, "Oh, Grandma, you know, the way you play the ukulele, how do you play the ukulele?" Well, what can I say? I just said, just strum. But I'm very happy when we had this recent Ohana reunion. He imitates me the way I sing falsetto. And he strummed the ukulele the way I do. Oh, at least, you know what I mean? I'm glad that at least I passed on something to the family. Come sing with me.
My mom, she has a joyful personality. She's always she's a happy person, much more when she sings. Oh, it comes from the heart. That's a wonderful gift for her, because she has that gift to share with people.
Auntie Becky has been singing for 60 years.
I played with Auntie Genoa, Johnny Watkins. This is where I learned hula from him. That was during the 1955 eruption. Recently, before the lava came and destroyed the area, I used to play with this woman they called Auntie G Girl. In fact, she and I and my cousin Emma Kauhi, we formed a trio, and we called ourselves Naleokani o Puna, the sounding voices of Puna.
Yes, it is true. She is known as a Song Bird of Puna. Everybody knows that.
In Auntie Becky Pau, she's our Song Bird of Puna. We all look up to her when us like sing.
Auntie Becky on stage, you can tell by her personality that she loves to sing. And we, as members of the group, whenever we sing, when Auntie Becky sings, it inspires in us to sing.
Her voice is like Auntie Genoa Kiawe's voice. She has her own style too. She has the old, what she called shilling style.
Let me tell you, I feel satisfied because I knew I did the best. When I was in the entertaining business, most of the time I sing for hula groups, different hula groups. And, you know, I feel satisfied because, see, it all depends the way we sing and the girls dance the hula. If the music is good, they dance real good. When I can see the expression on their face, you can tell by the way we sing, you can tell whether you're captivating the audience, you know, and that's the good feeling that you like to see, because when you know that you get them captivated, you give all what you can, all that you can.
Kalapana was a beautiful place to live.
Since I grew up there, I lived there for over 50 years before my house got destroyed by the lava. It was part of me. Yes, I did love. I love the life, the simple lifestyle. I love whenever we get party, we all meet at Harry K. Brown Park, and the whole community meet down there, you know, for party up, and then I get together with our family and friends and sing. You know, I love music at that time, and we used to sing, and that's what I missed.
Hawaii is filled with the meaning of aloha.
Here in Puna, or in Hawaii, I think we still have the aloha spirit.
Aloha means love. Aloha means good luck until we meet again. Aloha means sharing whatever you have. And aloha is something that comes within a person. And when it comes from your heart, it is genuine. And this is what Auntie Becky is. She is aloha.
Well, aloha means to be hospitable, to be generous, to be warm, to be giving.
Auntie Becky loves the lifestyle in Hawaii.
You know, that it's so easygoing, as you can see. People are more relaxed. They're not in a hurry to do things, you know what I mean? And that's the kind of lifestyle that I like, because I grew up that way. For me, for myself personally, I didn't realize the impact that I have on the other young ones, you know what I mean? Looking at me, the way I sing and the way I play my ukulele, I really didn't know that. You know, to me, I feel, well, it's nothing, you know, it's just get the ukulele strum. But I didn't know the style of playing my ukulele. It had an impact, like my grandson told me. So, you know, I'd like people to remember me on that in the music field, to remember me as a simple, down-to-earth, kind, warm, generous person. I feel that if there's any legacy that I can pass on to the younger generation, I'm more than happy to do it.
Mahalo. Thank you for watching this special in the heart of the Pacific on the Song Bird of Puna, Auntie Becky Pau.
Hey no ke